All right, guys, going to look over cosine law here. So cosine law is the third tool we use to solve for angles. So we have SOHCAHTOA. Uh, okay, so that's for right angle triangles. You have sine law, and a sine law requires not a right angle triangle, but it requires a matching pair of an angle side and then one other thing. So I either have an angle side and a side, or I have two angles and one of the sides across from them. And if you don't have that, you're going to end up with this possibility, either three sides or two sides and the angle between them. So here I don't have a pair, here I don't have a pair, so I have no angle, so I can't have a pair. And here, this angle is missing, this angle here is missing across from this side, and this angle does not have a side over here. So the two options where cosine law works is this and this. You might be wondering what happens if I have three angles, and the answer is you can't solve that. So if you have three angles, you could make this triangle this big or this big. You could blow it up, shrink it, and leave the angles the same, and you won't know the length of the side. So you need to know one side length to do any of this. Anyway, if you have these two, you can get the side over here, and to do that, you use this. And if you have three sides, you find an angle by using this. Okay, and we'll work through this. So for example, here's the first example. Here I have an angle, and the side in between it. Nope, a side and a side and an angle in between it. I meant I should have said. And here you're going to solve for this guy over here. So you're going to always have these equations with you. Obviously, in this course you will, but even on if we were in a regular class, you'd have the equations with you. And all you're going to do is take this version and change it into the version that you have with the letters here. So I'll write this one out. It's missing here, but you're going to write y squared because you want that. Okay, so you want y, you have to write y squared, and then just sub in the other sides here. So the side you're looking for is here. The other sides go in any order, and then notice that this letter here is the same as this guy here. So you're going to have little y here, you're going to have big cos y at the end. Okay, so you're going to have y here, and then you have cos y at the end, and then after that, when you sub in to the equation above, it doesn't matter if you go x and z or z and x, just keep track of it. So if I put x squared first, then I put y squared second. Okay, so instead of b and c, I'm going to use x and y, and then minus 2 x, y, and then that's times cos y. You sub in 8 squared, 11 squared, sub those in 8, 11, 2, 8, 11, and then cos 36. Throw this into calculator, and my piece of advice is do not hit anything. Don't hit equals. Just throw this entire thing into your equation. I would not do this. Okay? I would just go 8 squared plus 11 squared minus 2 times 8 times 11 times cos 36 in your calculator, and then you get 42.6. Hit the square root button, leave the whole thing in your calculator, and get 6.5. Okay, that's what I would do personally. Okay, don't mess around with equals and that sort of thing because this cos 36 really throws people off. So just throw the whole thing in your calculator and move from there. Okay, so again, just take your time when you write this out. It's where a squared is. It's the one you're looking for, so it's y squared. So you always write what you're looking for first, and then sub in everything after that. So y squared would go here. The other two sides that you know go here. So x and what did I mess it up? Oh, that should be z. That should be z. Okay, good. X and z go here. Minus 2 times x times z, and then cos y. So the only time you see y again, little y, and there's big Y. Same thing when you're looking for an angle. If I want to find C here, I write down what I'm looking for first. Now, every time you write an angle or a big letter, you need to write sine with it or cos with it or tan with it. And in this case, since it's cosine law, okay, cos law, not coleslaw, okay, but cos law, you need to write cos with it. All right, so I want this angle here. And then if you look above here, let's go to the original equation, just to be careful here. There's the side that the angle that I want. And if you notice, the only time you see, there's big A. The only time you see little a is at the end here. Okay, just like here, what you want is here, and the only time you see the other version of that letter is at the end. Same with this, there's big A and there's little a over there. Okay, as far away as possible. So when you sub it in here, we have big C here. What we'll do is cos, I'll write this out first, cos big C is equal to, and then you can have something plus something, subtract something, and these are all squared. Okay, just looking at the equation above, and this is over 2 times something and something, and that C, only time you see C is right here. Okay, and then it's A and B in this case, and 2 times A. So that's A squared plus B squared minus C squared over 2AB. Again, if you put B first and then A, it doesn't matter. What it does matter is that the C and the little c are away from each other. So in this one, I would do it a little differently. I would go ahead and when you do this in your calculator, I would figure out what this is on your calculator, and that's 349. And then figure out what this is on your calculator, and that's 544. And then here, that's going to get you cos C is this number. And remember, whenever you want to find an angle, you have to hit that second function button. Okay, so you have to get the inverse cos. So get 349 divided by 544, second function cos. Some of you might be able to throw this entire thing on your calculator and try it. Okay, it's up to you. But I think you go and you find out the top, you find out the bottom, you divide, and then you hit second function cos. Okay, that's what I would do. And that's it. Okay, there's not many other questions than that. What we end up doing is this sort of thing here, where you have an entire, let me just zoom out a bit, zoom out, where you have an entire triangle that you want to solve. So here's a triangle ABC, and we know that A is this, B is that, and C is that. Those are the side lengths because they are the smaller letters. And what we're going to do is work our way through it and find all the angles. Okay. So if you draw this like this, you put A here, then 9 goes across. Okay, little a would be across, B, little b is across, C, little c is across. And to solve for A here, I'm going to do this a little differently, actually. We can do this a little differently. We're going to use sine law for the second one, okay? What you're going to do is to solve for A, you're going to write cos big A, right? Big A first. And remember, if you're looking for A, you're going to have little a way over here. And you have B squared plus C squared, C squared, sorry. Subtract A squared. And that's all over 2BC. So use your equation. There's A, there's little a. And then you sub it in. Here's 7 and 8 and 9. And then you find the top, you find the bottom, hit second function cos, and you get A is 73 degrees. Okay, so A is 73. I'm just going to put that in here. And at this point, you can use cosine law if you want. You can continue to find B through cosine law. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to use sine law. Okay, now I have a pair. So if I want to find B, I'm going to write big B first. And because I have a pair, I can use sine law. And I'm going to write sine B. And remember, with sine law, it's this guy, something over something equals something over something. Sine B is going to go over little b. And the pair I have are the a's, so I'm going to sub in sine A. That's hideous, and little a. So that's sine big B over sine little b equals sine big A over sine little a. And then I'll sub in. So big B was big B is unknown. So sine big B over little b was 7 equals sine big A, which is 73 over little a, which is 9. And it's up to you if you want to do this or not. But then what you'll do is you'll bring that 7 up. So it'll be sine 73 times 7 divided by 9. Okay, so the 7 goes up here. And then hit second function B. Or second function sine function B. So, oh, I guess I got to put that. Let's see. There we go. So hit second function sine, and then you get your angle there. Now, when you do this, you might not get the exact same numbers, 48, okay? And that's not that important. As long as your numbers are close, you're fine. A lot of rounding will throw your answers off. So if you ever do a question and you get 47 and I get 48, or you get 33 when I asked you to get 32 for a side length or for an angle, if you're close, that's good enough, right? Because depending on where you round, or do you leave this in your calculator, you take it out of your calculator, that sort of thing, the numbers will be off slightly. Okay, and once you get that second angle, you can remember that if you know 2 angles, the third angle is found by subtracting the 2 answers from 180, and the other 2 angles from 180, and that gets you 59. Again, that might be up or down, might be 60, 58, give or take. Okay, so that's cosine law. It's good, it's important, and now you can solve every triangle except for the ones without a side length. Okay, which is kind of cool. Okay, so get that, take a look at this and get that little quiz assignment again when you have a chance. And see you later. Have a nice weekend.